Hey, I'm Curtis Calhoun with LowKickMMA, and today I'm joined by Darrion Caldwell, who makes his return to Bantamweight at Bellator 259 next weekend against Leandro Higo. Darrion, thanks for your time, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Obviously, this is a guy in Leandro Higo that you have history with and that you fought before. Just kind of give us your thoughts on the upcoming rematch and kind of tell us how camp's been so far.
First off, camp's been great. Was able to switch camps out here at Sanford MMA, who is a funny story. Apparently Pitbull Gym, is trying to make this thing a rivalry, So I moved out to, obviously the best gym in the world, And so whenever you're the best gym in the world, you're gonna have somebody try to, compete with that or rival that. And I think that's what they're trying to make it is a rivalry. But I'm gonna stop that real short next week. There is no rivalry. And if they, I mean, it's old. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I'm about to 0-2 this guy. And so after I shut that down, it's over. But I think Leandro overall, he's a tough fighter. He's a game fighter, but he just doesn't have the tools. He don't got the tools to beat me. A little, yeah. That's it. It just is what it is. I feel like this fight's gonna go pretty much the same way as it with the first fight. I'm gonna get in there, get my hands on him, and dispose of him.
I was actually just about to ask you about that in terms of, have you seen any improvements in his game since you two last fought back at Bellator? I think it was 195.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, everybody's gonna be different. 4 years later, whether it's mentally, physically, or just the way you move, because we're always changing. But I don't think the fight's gonna go much different. I think caliber wise, I'm just that much better of a fighter than he is.
Mm-hmm. And kind of tell us about your motivation as you make the move back to bantamweight, and what are your thoughts with the added talent in the division now compared to when you had the belt before?
Well, obviously I'm going back down, and it's cool to see the rankings. It's not that cool not to see me in it.
Right.
But I haven't been there for a while. So I'm here to make a statement. I think guys have forgot. Just how dominant I am at 135, and so this is the fight to go back out there and prove it against a number 6 ranked guy.
And then looking at the fight last weekend between Sergio Pettis and Juan Archuleta, what are your thoughts on how that fight played out and the new champion Sergio?
I think Sergio fought a strategic fight as he always does. He stays in a fight all 25 minutes. You wouldn't be able to tell if he was fighting the first round or the 5th round. And I think that's what that wins. If you're still putting out the same output and doing what you're doing as you did in the 1st and the 5th, then I mean it's hard to beat that. And so he never really got sloppy. He never showed fatigue or anything. So I think, and really the biggest thing for me that night was him calling out Horiguchi. Because the fact that he called out Horiguchi really solidified, us as a division, at least the champion of the division. He's really making it to where, he's not calling out chumps. Everybody wants to fight a guy who's really a scrub,
Right.
But no, and for him to call out, Horiguchi, who vacated his belt, who he didn't have to. He could have been like, all right, I'll fight one of these guys in this pool that's been, I think it speaks volume because Horiguchi is a guy who, he brings that that's stable to our division. You beat Horiguchi, you're the best. There's nothing else to that. So I think him calling out Horiguchi was cool, and I could respect him for it. But at the end of the day, in a perfect world, my perfect world, I go out there, finish this guy, and get the next title fight.
Then obviously I know you're not looking past Higo, but I feel like just looking at a style perspective, I feel like you and Juan Archuleta would be a really good fight for the future. So is that a fight that you're kind of looking forward to as you make this second run at the belt in bantamweight?
Well, I'm all right with that Juan fight. I don't think he has much to offer me in terms of like I think I'll run through him just because our styles, he gets real sloppy, and our styles, it just makes for a clean finish against Juan. But I do believe down the line we'll fight, so stylistically it's something that people want to see, so that's something I like to get into, just because it's what the fans want to see. But just know, it's all of our lives, he's never been on our level. We've been on this through college, all of that. He's never been on my level. So once I do happen to fight Juan, it's going to show, and let's be real that he did win a vacant belt, so it's not
Right.
like I really feel like, and that's, and I think had he defended, all right, cool, but he didn't, and so I think for I would say that belt is solidified with Sergio, and so I just feel like eventually we'll have to fight Archuleta and myself, and but it's a lot of good fights. It's a lot of good grapplers in the division. The Nurmagomedov guy, the Patchy Mix kid, So there's some fights in here for me, and I think, it'll be. The pool right now is just so thick. Like, it's like, damn, dude, what do you do with these guys? I'm ready to fight them all.
Right.
I'm willing to fight them all. I think eventually, I'll fight them all. But for now, Leandro is the guy, and then move on from there.
Then speaking of which, Scott Coker actually made some news yesterday saying that a Grand Prix at Bantamweight could be happening sooner rather than later in Bellator. So what are your thoughts on that?
I say, give me the money, man. It's like, no, realistically, I think that's my tournament, I was, previously the bantamweight champ before going up, and I went further than any other bantamweight in the tournament, and I think if that happens, then, I'm gonna be the champ. It's just simple. I'm gonna be the champ at the weight class for a long time once I get that belt back. And so I made a promise to myself that, there's no more, no fights the way I've had the last fight, so.
Absolutely. And let's talk about your Sanford MMA teammate for a second, Michael Chandler, obviously fighting on Saturday at UFC 262. What are your thoughts on his matchup with Charles Oliveira?
I think Michael goes out there, put hands on him, and finishes him early. I do think Charles possesses a lot of threats on the ground, but I think Michael's wrestling, he's just so strong, and he's really a dog. So I don't think he's going to really be in much trouble on the ground. I think he should finish him on his feet. I think it'd be a first round finish.
And the final question for me, just kind of give fans an idea as to what's the biggest key to getting the win over Leandro Higo again next Saturday.
Being fast and being smart.
Absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to it. And before we go, I'll give you the final word, shout out any sponsors you may have, and let fans know where we can find you on social media too.
Yeah, check me out, The Wolf MMA, on all platforms. I'm out here in South Florida, Sanford MMA, the best gym in the world. I got the best training partners, best coaches, and I'm living in this beautiful weather, man. If you ever in Florida, check us out.
Absolutely, man. Well, as always, I appreciate the time, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon, man. Thank you, Darrion.
Thank you, bro.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.